Hi there, good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup. I'm Yat Shah. It's a slightly long trade setup today, so keep that in mind. First up, the news that came in late last evening from the IMF about India. They said that they will revisit the India growth forecast in the upcoming World Economic Outlook in the month of July. They believe that downside risks are materializing in India. This is, of course, as per Bloomberg wires, but big news. The skeptic would, or rather, the skeptic of the IMF would say, tell me something that I don't know. Having said that, this will be an important development whenever it happens in June and July. Okay, to markets now, and the US markets did okay. They were ahead of the key jobs report today. The futures are flat, but yesterday the markets did reasonably okay for themselves. So in the green for all the three key indices, you could have varying degrees of movements between the three, but all three were in the green. So that is the slightly positive side. What is getting left behind, viewers, are the mining stocks. Globally, you're not seeing mining stocks being able to do well. We know metals are in a frenzy of sorts, but just look at this. The earnings outlook presumably keeps the valuations of global mining stocks near the cheapest in a year. Now, you may have articles saying that copper is the new oil, gold has moved up over 1800 and all of that, but somehow mining stocks are not quite able to do that. So just keep in mind, if you invest in a gold fund, for example, it invests in mining stocks of gold and not gold itself. So there are some investment repercussions that all of us you have to keep in mind when you're looking at what to do with some of the mining names. Having said that, that doesn't stop Asia from doing okay. I think it would be flattish to marginally in the green, considering, like I said, that the US markets are waiting for the key jobs report today, which could well determine what the US markets do. Now, the problem with this jobs report also is that if it's too strong, people will start believing, oh, inflation is going to come back, therefore rates will move up, therefore let's beat the market. And if it comes bad, then the people will actually say, oh, chalo, this is good news, the Fed will keep its foot on the pedal, and therefore it's good for the markets. So it's just very interesting how the markets and the economic data are so negatively correlated, so to say. SGX Nifty should come up on your screen next. It's trending higher about 0.5%, so we'll probably have a good start for ourselves. Let's see if we can keep up with that during the course of the day. Now, what's the trade setup for today? I mean, so frankly, just before we get into trade setup, it's important to look at what happened yesterday as well. And this is something that we'll try to do here on, which is get you this MOV function on the Bloomberg terminal, which tells you what went right and what went wrong in trade yesterday. So the market breadth was positive. So keep that at the back of your mind. Mid-cap IT, brokerages, and select mid-cap pharma names did well. And as you can see, the list was dominated by, for example, Angel Broking, Motilal Oswal, IIFL Securities, or a Coforge, Intellect Design Arena, or a Happiest Minds, or Aarti Drugs, Dishman, Wockhardt. So that was essentially the pocket which did really well in trade. And ahead of a key release from banking names this Saturday, because Bandhan Bank was down, of course, 5%. There's Bandhan, IDFC First Bank, DCB Bank, CSB Bank, all of them coming out the results tomorrow. That pocket was a bit soft, but yeah, I mean, look at the winners and they are moving up as trending moves, and that's quite really strong. Now, which is why I believe that irrespective of what happens to the index, and after that 0.5%, whether the momentum will be stronger or no, I don't know, but the broader markets will continue to see momentum. That is probably the order of the day. Somehow something tells me that large cap IT stocks, which have shown some momentum, they are showing some signs of momentum rather after an up move in the mid cap names. Can they do that? I don't know. The Cognizant call, for example, that happened yesterday spoke about growth, and Cognizant, remember, is lagging Indian IT names, but spoke about growth, but also spoke about attrition and talent issues, and which is why you're seeing a lot of companies giving bonuses. So maybe margins will be under pressure, and that might keep large cap IT pegged back too, because the workforces are even larger. But let's wait and watch. And gold prices above $1,800 for the first time in 3 months, and therefore the focus does shift on the gold finance companies, and it'll be interesting to see what they do in the session today. There could be some trading moves related to that. You know, these things happen, whether or not you and I think it is sensible or not sensible, and it may be sensible, it may not be sensible, but the point is, as they say, and as I say so often, bhav bhagwan che, prices move up, and that's what matters. FIs bought yesterday, by the way. Yesterday I was lamenting about the fact that FIs have been continuously selling. close to 6,500 crores in the month of May as well. They've bought a little bit. It could be bulk deal, it could be whatever, but there's a positive number, and therefore that should probably help. Now, just before we get to stocks to watch, keep in mind, or actually in the stocks to watch segment, the one key name or the sector to watch out for could well be steel, because brokerages after the Tata Steel call yesterday have unanimously upgraded Tata Steel. So just before I get to stocks to watch, I haven't given words for the same or graphics for the same, but JP Morgan has raised the target price. Overweight target price is 1425 from 1250. Citi target price is 1375 from 1200. Morgan Stanley target price is 1630 from 1000. Everybody's raised target prices. So after the big move yesterday, you might well see a bit follow up. You might well see it peaking out as well. Typically, when everybody turns bullish, the tide turns up the other way. But keep an eye out for Tata Steel. However, in stocks that will react at 9:15, Hero MotoCorp, the numbers standalone basis were above estimates for sure. The stock had done reasonably okay yesterday, but revenue was up about 8686 crores. Estimates were 8416, net profit 865. Bloomberg estimate was 799, margins at 13.9, estimates were 12.6. The pickle, as I said, viewers, yesterday, is that April, May, June is where they've had the lockdowns and the shutdowns, and therefore the sentiment isn't the most positive. So will it react on numbers? It could. Will it have a dramatic continued upsurge on the back of these numbers? I would say no. Let's wait and watch. Tata Consumer, again, I would say a mix of hits and misses, maybe more misses. But here's the numbers. Firstly, revenues were at 3,037, slightly higher than estimates, but EBITDA came in much lower than estimates, primarily because of rising tea prices, which hurt the operational numbers for Tata Consumer. And net profit came in therefore lower at 133 crores versus 186. So, and on the segmental performance, the Indian beverages revenues was up 60%, but the EBIT was down 40%. The foods business is okay. It's the beverages segment, and therefore, the tea price, which hurt the EBIT in the Indian beverages segment, which has hurt the company overall. So there is a headwind from tea inflation. There's lower growth in Sampann segment as well, lower margins across segments, and that's the problem. The point is, brokerages are divided. Morgan Stanley has said they are underweight. Nomura says that they are overweight. The target price of 750. So difficult to say which will do, but it's not a cheap name. And if it's missed numbers by a margin, and if rural is seeing stress, you might want to believe that there could be some pressure on Tata Consumer today. Let's wait and watch. Praj could be interesting. I've taken quarter on quarter again because YOI obviously would have gotten impacted last year because of the last 15 days of a lockdown. See, it doesn't impact staples that much, but it does impact companies like Praj, and therefore I'm taking QOQ. But fabulous performance, really. Revenue is up 63% at 561, EBITDA up 88%, PAT up 84%. It's ahead of most estimates. And that's why these numbers look a bit impressive. Now, viewers, I would urge all of you, we'll of course talk to Praj Industries sometime next week. Today is the conference call, so you don't want to talk to them before that. Might as well let the conference call get over. We'll attend the call and try and get the key points and then do the long format interaction with Praj. But you might want to revisit the Praj interaction that the management did with us on our show Talking Point. It's there on our website, it's there on our YouTube feed, and it'll give you an idea of what Praj is trying to do. And I think these numbers stand testimony to that. Could be interesting. If it reacts positively today, you know why it could react. The results looking very positive. SBI Life could react a bit negatively today. Let's wait and watch. There's a block deal at offer, floor price of 945 rupees per share, which is about a 2.5-3% discount. It's about, or represents about 3.5% stake. It's sold by an investor, C Emerald, which owns about 6%. So will it get bought into after the kind of stupendous performance that it gave in the quarter? And if this block deal brings about a discount, could it get bought into? Sure, it could. So watch out for SBI Life. By the way, I think I missed something. I missed two numbers on the mid cap end. Sorry, so excuse me for going to and from, confusing our producer team as well. But these are strong results by Blue Star and CreditAccess Grameen. Blue Star in particular on the bottom line front did really well. Operational costs were cut down quite a bit. But again, Blue Star, the problem is the peak season is impacted by lockdowns. CreditAccess Grameen couldn't find too many faults, but decent numbers. Let's see what this one does. So these are the other two that could react at 9:15 today. And of course, I already spoke about SBI Life, so that's something you all keep an eye out for. Last but not the least, what stood out for me, yesterday there was this whole talk of Brazilian president saying that China is the reason for the virus. Now, the point is this: forget that. I'm not getting into that. What I'm getting into is this: that much as people thought that if Joe Biden is coming, the soft stance or the hard stance taken by the Trump administration against China would get soft. Here's what Bloomberg is saying: the Biden administration is likely to maintain pressure on China by preserving the limits on US investments in certain Chinese companies, which were imposed during Donald Trump's tenure, which is very, very, it's a very important development, viewers, and you have to bear this in mind. So we've seen multiple signs, right? The Quad formation, which is Australia, India, Japan, and USA doing this. Then Joe Biden's administration is not going soft on China. That's the key thing. So it's an important development and could have major geopolitical as well as business ramifications as well. So let's see. I mean, not just this. What I mean is this plus the other developments that are happening around China. So let's wait and watch. However, focusing back on trade, keep an eye out. We'll start off well, but broader markets will be in focus. After mid-cap IT has done what it has done, you might well see large-cap IT have an interesting move, even though the Cognizant call was full of worries about attrition and talent. And you might well see companies like Praj react today. SBI Life might react today. So those are a few names that you got to keep in mind. And Tata Steel, of course, multiple upgrades out there. Please stay safe. Please stay masked up if you're stepping out. And ideally, if you don't have to step out, please do not step out. Stay safe. Thank you so much for tuning into the Trade Setup.